over time and adapt. Bayonetta, I think, is a similar character in that vein of Bayonetta wants to play Bayonetta's tempo. She wants to get like maybe 3 or 4 big openings and then go for that kill like a back air or something. Bayonetta has a very clear game plan. I think the biggest issue here is Lima is so good off stage, so proficient at edge guarding, and Cloud a sitting duck sometimes out there, so we'll see if Niko can play around that. Right now on stage, though, starting to dominate.
Not willing to play the offstage game. He says, as long as my feet are firmly planted, we're good. But Lima, very good at alleviating that, not finding a punish on the air dodge, but does pick up afterwards. The thing about Bayonetta is, even if you have other Bayonetta practice in Texas here, there's no practice like Lima practice.
Yeah,
Nobody has been doing what Lima has been doing. Finding the blade beam there because you cannot really snap the ledge with the witch twist effectively. Really, really good recognition by Niko to just take the catch in the free stock.
That's a really tough spot to be Bayonetta. I guess you could play, you try to force him to use it, try to bait it out, and then use that up B, but I don't know. Witch twist is kind of predictable, so I'm wondering how he's going to play around that in the long game. Obviously using that for the first time, but gorgeous scoop there on the kick into the back air.
Yeah, catching Niko not willing to use the limit, wants to hold it, so you're able to catch something like that and then find a clean finish. 51% is really nothing. Climbing a little bit here, but of course we see one witch twist connect and Lima can absolutely send this percent to an even amount. Oh my goodness, Niko just keeps piling it on. Lima's not had a chance to land. This could be big. Oh no, didn't connect properly. He wants the fair to connect at the very edge of the platform so that he can kind of cancel the lag and go for the side special, but fell off the side and totally ended the combo extremely early.
Starting to track his movement though, chasing him all the way to the left, and has been able to answer back despite the huge start on this stock by Niko, but eventually able to land that back air, and now Lima is back on the final stock of this game.
Man, Niko going deep with the forward air, calling the dash back. He has been so good consistently at recognizing his opponent's movement patterns. I think that was very crucial in the MVD set and also showing up here immediately.
You kind of have to overshoot sometimes at Cloud with the aerials, because obviously they cover a wide space, but everybody's just giving you that wide berth, you know what I mean? They'll kind of back up as much as possible, and you got to go a little bit further. You can see going through that, the climb hazard.
That back air absolutely going to finish things off into the last stock. Niko shaking it off here.
Oh, we're going low.
We're going for the level 9 CPU bait. They always chase you out there.
Cloud just jumps off once and then up B, so that would be a strange play by Niko, but...
Ooh, beautiful way to kind of stall and fall, get out of the juggle situation, but not a lot of damage for it. Niko doing such a good job of just clipping Lima, consistently pushing off stage.
Oh dear, this is where things get dicey. He's able to go back to the left, which means he is able to survive. We're seeing a lot of limits being pulled immediately just to get out of those compromising situations in the air.
And I definitely don't hate it, because now you get one hit and you get a fourth of limit back immediately. Because of the percent that Lima's at, it's not hard to build back up.
That was an ugly back air there. I think trying to hit the top of the shield, maybe the shield poke, but very misspaced. Huge call out there on the normal get up. Lima takes that game, and I really do think it all came from that back air. That was way too high. That
does look like a pretty huge read there. Bayonettas do love to toss out those smash attacks though, and I think even covering that neutral get up with the forward smash, it is a little bit less risky than some other characters, because you can then hold the guns, maybe push the opponent back off stage and reset the same exact mix-up. But Lima having the perfect timing to catch those frames on the neutral get-up and turn things around. He was playing from behind the whole time.
I think you're right that it feels huge when you go for that forward smash, but really, what character can punish you from that distance, right? Like, even if they roll on, what are you going to get hit by? You need like a strong like frame 1, frame 3 move on the ground, like an up tilt or something. Cloud just doesn't have that.
Exactly. Slow sword fighter, or rather slow frame data relative to some other characters that aren't wielding a gigantic sword.
Yeah.
Ooh, beautiful just out of the range. But man, Niko managed to wiggle out of that entirely. He's been nullifying. Oh my god!
You could do that? Oh my goodness!
If your name is Lima, exclusively.
I don't know how he has the brain to comprehend that stuff so quickly. It feels like Lima's trees just... he's got a spider web of a skill tree, and it just expands in a way that you don't see any other Bayonetta do, and then he'll just SD.
Yeah, that's
a Lima.
Also typical Lima. Managed to slide in, good mix, using the invincibility to allow that to be a mix-up. Now trying to land. It is brave to toss out your limbs against Cloud and disadvantage, but sometimes you do have to do it to try to catch him on the startup.
He's going to have that limit. Lima, yeah, not even going to contest it. Just gives him the ledge, but the limit's down.
Okay.
Trying to catch, I think, just a normal air dodge or a neutral.
Exactly, but Niko manages to pull just out of range for Lima to scoop up. Rolls to the other side. That could be huge. Up tilt straight to the top. What are we going to see? Yeah, we're going to see it straight off with the forward air. Lima, that is the classic Lima combo game that you would expect. And now we're forward air chains. Not going to be able to get a third there, maybe to extend. But still 60% and then catches the swing from disadvantage.
Oh, man, and Lima is just eating Niko alive now. Gets the witch time. He's gone with another forward smash. And we've talked so much this weekend, myself, you, Kimona, just about players that are long set players, right?
Yeah.
People who like the 3 out of 5, that like more opportunities to open up their opponents. And it feels like Lima absolutely is one of those, but it feels accelerated here. He's really caught on to Niko's defensive habits, caught on to the movement, and has been able to string together even longer conversions just because Bayonetta is just so mobile. She's able to get him where Niko's trying to dodge to. Anytime he's in the air, he's in so much trouble. And Lima is just kind of, I don't know, it feels like a dissection at this point. We'll see if Niko can put it together for Game 3.
Niko's definitely one of those think tank players who can turn things around, and going for the Sephiroth now, actually, to mix up Lima. Both players are going to have to start to readjust here. Lima does have the in-house practice against Sephiroth. I'm pretty sure he is nearly retired Johnny Sephiroth. Because he is just, the character is so strong at some points, but also has some strange weaknesses.
I'm a Sephiroth hater, so
yeah.
This character, on paper, he's good. In practice, I think the weight is so bad.
The weight on top of, oh my goodness, that is so bad for Sephiroth. You'd be able to get free witch times up close to him. Also, his height makes it a lot easier for Bayo to connect that back air in certain positions, and just the combo game is still immaculate. Niko does get to play at the ledge a little bit more, but the question is, will he get there?
Feels like as Sephiroth, you just want to have this bubble around you, right? You don't want people to penetrate the zone. Oh my god, gorgeous back air. Having a huge knockback. And we're trying to set up this Octo Slash, but Bayonetta has so many resources, you're not going to catch that.
Yeah, exactly. Can wait. It's similar to the Blade Beam situation, except even more telegraphed. Sephiroth has to commit early.
Yes. Well, the weight not really coming into factor. 162 here.
That is one thing, unless you're connecting something like the back air, it really doesn't, because Bayonetta's combo game is so much almost set knockback, it feels like, the way that the specials work. So you don't see it come into play until that back air comes through, but this back air will absolutely melt the Sephiroth. And the fact that he's so tall, it's not going to be hard for Lima to find this position. I think the crouch actually mattered a bit there. Crouch gets like not super prevalent, but you can get a little bit less knockback when you're holding down and you get hit by that dash attack.
Had so much rage there. You could see Lima maybe a little scared here. He's playing a little bit more concerned back foot, but I think this is where Sephiroth really starts to shine his having, you know, even though he's down in percent, he's controlling so much space with that sword, with that forward tilt.
Yeah, forward tilt becomes extremely dangerous. Trying to get that forward throw, setting it at an awkward angle, just the weakest skewer will do it.
Niko's doing an excellent job of keeping his feet planted, playing around those tilts. How are we going to start this up? Trying to snap his fingers. If you can get one neutral air, might be able to convert into something, but honestly, now you got to get in there. There we go.
Man, I feel like the Shadow Flare is not even going to be great for him, because you give him an opportunity to go for Witch Time and get free KOs. They're punishing the Scintilla, popping a little bit early and on the wrong side. Ooh, Nair, beautiful to punish the cross-up. Lima was definitely showing his hand a little bit with that.
I love the idea of that Scintilla to end off the last stock, because he knew that Lima was going to swing the moment he got the chance, but unfortunately just a little bit off.
Up air, huge to scoop even the highest recovery from Bayonetta. And again, the Scintilla just not quite finding its mark, giving Lima a huge opportunity to go off the side. Ooh, and the mix off the ledge. No invincibility, and kind of baits Niko into that. He wants to scoop up off the ledge, but Lima has enough resource to recover on stage.
Bayonetta just has so many things she can do. There's another forward smash. Just Niko getting caught there. Now on his potentially final stock. He can't find a way to beat this Bayonetta, but Sephiroth just, it feels like we were talking about how Sephiroth wants to have this bubble, this zone that you can't get into, but Bayonetta, especially when played to this degree, and again, see, he's trying to cut off the resources. He's forcing you to get off ledge with the flare, and then when you re-grab, he wants to go for the Octo Slash. Bayonetta doesn't have to play that game.
No.
She gets around it so easily.
We're showing like very good typical Sephiroth set play, but not playing against Bayonetta.
Exactly.
Niko is playing Sephiroth, not playing against Bayonetta, playing against Lima here. Is still managing to take it down to the last stock, and of course, one-wing Sephiroth can absolutely make anything happen here. Have to respect that Octo Slash thing and reset. But Lima's looking, you know, primed. That's a big Shadow Flare.
Oh dear. Yeah, but yeah, see okay, he got the whole thing. You can see we were both kind of holding our breath because obviously that is a witch time waiting to happen, and you know that Niko knows that, so Nico's trying to put him in hit stud so that he's not able to do it. Kind of tricky, but Niko has found his way back here.
What a parry, still finding no punish. Now this is an opportunity once again, go for the same set play. What can we adjust? And now Niko is looking pretty favored, skewering Lima. He is digging
able to avoid that.
deep.
That's off the shield. There's the up air, but can't quite do it. And Lima, a little bit frustrated on one of the earlier exchanges, kind of shook his head. And you can see that Niko, that's what we're talking about. When you could just establish that zone, keep yourself on the ground, it is so hard to keep Bayonetta pinned down there. But Niko, able to do it by sheer force of will, honestly.
Yeah, a very, like, a meditated approach. He looks so calm and chill. Even when, I'm going to be honest, you and me kind of thought that it was over.
Yeah,
for a
frankly,
minute.
yeah.
Down.
I mean, Lima's so good at getting in there and forcing you into a bad situation, but Niko turning it up in the final stock of that game. And like you were talking about, we saw that before with Niko against MVD. He's able to change up that tempo and find an opportunity. We'll see if he can do it, but needs 2 more games.
Yeah, I think the biggest game changer there is at the end, Lima started playing at Niko's pace. At the very start of that game, it was all Lima going for the crazy combo game, Lima going for the big mix-ups that we know Lima for, the stuff that goes crazy in clips. But Niko managed to slow it down to a clean neutral. Big Nair dodge sets up a position for Lima. Great DI from Niko, though, going behind so that Lima can't set up an offstage interaction. Gonna use this wing to great effect.
You'll see the kick come through, gets the back air, but at 130 now, and Sephiroth living this long is portends doom, right? Like, this is a bad omen because he gets to sit on that wing forever and get the back air, and that killed at 100.
Yeah, it becomes really scary as Lima to go for these back airs because you have to jump to set that up, and you're giving Niko the opportunity to meet you air to air with his forward air, start to set up all of his stuff that is normally difficult to go for. Scintilla finally connecting.
It did 22. And here's that mini game. Are we going to witch time it? No, we're just going to go to ledge and use that invincibility.
Yeah, play that very safe way through it. You know, the witch time gambit is pretty solid one way or the other. Either you hit it and you're really rewarded, or Niko gets a huge juicy punish.
Don't know if you really wanted it 20 anyway, because
Right.
like, you know, the combo that you would get, you could get anyway. I feel like it's better to kind of get it on the ground. Oh wow, catches him low, tries to catch the air dodge, doesn't matter. Neutral air chasing him all the way off of the side. That's the stock we expected to see from Lima. He hasn't really had it at all this set, even on Cloud, but finally finds it here when he needs it most. And Niko struggling now, 1 stock left.
Ooh, connecting off the forwarders. Once again, phenomenal DI from Niko to escape the chain there. Normally is very easy for Lima to set up maybe 60% off of that combo.
Like that forward tilt. We got the flare once again. No invincibility. I
Brilliant.
love that. Brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah, huge adjustment because of the last times he has been presenting the threat of punishing the 2-frame. This time punish Lima for going high like he has been.
Gorgeous punish. Wonder if it could have been a little harder, but on Sephiroth, you don't know. Maybe a back air instead of forward air.
This could be everything.
And huge witch time into the back air off on the side. You saw Niko starting to put it together, had the right idea, but just a little bit too late. And just like we were talking about, Lima, I think, then adapted to the Sephiroth. He adapts over the long game. The first game against Cloud was pretty close. The second game against Cloud was decisive. The first game against Sephiroth, he lost. The second game against Sephiroth was decisive. I mean, switching only works so much. Niko clearly had the game plan and could have kept tearing through the bracket, was doing a great job, but
Exactly.
Lima was just ready for him.
Yeah.